Thanks, Kyle. Any questions for Coach Judkins? Jake, we'll take you first.
Just in terms of your overall reaction, finally finding out when the season is supposed to start.
About time. You know, we've been hearing about this for the whole summer, and it's been really difficult, more for the players than probably us, but just like what's going to happen, what's the season going to start, when are we going to do things? And of course, when we heard that the Pac-12 was not going to do anything from January 1st, we have 3 games scheduled preseason with Pac-12 opponents. And so that kind of concerned us. How are we going to make those up? What are we going to do? And so forth. And now I still don't know. We talked to Utah today, and they don't know what they're going to be doing, if they're not going to play till January 1st or what, but hopefully we'll get some answers with that. But I just think it just gives us a good start of what we need to do and kind of where we need to be. And for us, we've been really fortunate because we've had this annex and we can lock it down where nobody can come in here and we can kind of be in a bubble. And we've had good opportunities to be able to do more things than other programs probably. And I think the NCAA is being really fair of what they're doing with the hours. I don't know if you guys know much about that, but we can't start practice now till October 14th, but they're giving us 4 more hours before that from September 21st to that date to be able to do more things with our team, which it'll let the California schools and some of their schools catch up, I think.
Mitch, do you want to go next?
Yeah, Coach. So will your team, in regards to the schedule, will you guys have a preseason tournament that you'll be playing in?
Well, right now we can only play 7 preseason games with this new start date. We lost 3 games from that start date, so we'll lose those games, and then we'll probably play some game the 25th. Start it. If not, then we play in a tournament in Irvine that weekend, the Thanksgiving tournament. But so we won't play 11 preseason schedule or 12 preseason schedule if you play in a tournament. So we'll be a little bit short that way, but I think that's smart. I think we're looking at it to the whole picture. We really want our conference to happen. And I think by doing that, we can't have any exhibition games. We can't have any blue-white scrimmage games. We can't do a lot of things like that right now before that date. So hopefully we'll be able to make some of those up through postseason tournament with some of those games.
Hunter, do you want to go next?
Yeah, Coach, you've got a lot of returning talent on this year's roster. Sarah, Paisley, and Shaylee coming back from injury. How big of a help is it to have those players who are experienced and know the program when it's been such a unique and troublesome offseason?
Well, losing Shaylee would be like the Utah Jazz losing Donovan Mitchell. We're just a totally different team when she's on the floor. She can do so many things to help everybody out. You know what makes a great player is not scoring and rebounding. It's making people around you better. And I think that's what she's learned as a freshman. I think you're seeing that in the playoffs right now. You're seeing it with Denver Nuggets. You know, 2 players are making people around them better because of their play and really what they do. Sarah has really worked hard this offseason trying to get stronger and trying to get mentally ready to go. And I hope that it pays off. I know she's a lot stronger than she was last year at this time. Paisley is finally going to play a position that I recruited her at. And that is, I wanted her to play some 2, and she's probably going to play that this year with having TL White back from remission and having Graham, a transfer player, play the 3, and maybe even Babalu playing some 3. Paisley was going to play some 2 this year. So those 3 are fired up. I think they really want to have a great season. They want to leave on a bang. Last year was a very disappointment. You know, sometimes you have a great season and you kind of take it for granted. And then when you don't have it again, it really makes you realize how lucky and how special that season was. And I think most of my team did not like the feeling last year.
Does it help to have those people, those players that are experienced and know your coaching style, just because of the challenges that COVID has presented this offseason?
Yes, no question. It's a big advantage to have somebody who's been with you for a long time. But my team's going to be a little different this year than the past. I have a lot more depth. I'm going to try to do a lot more pressing and more up and down, switching a lot more than I've done in the past. So those will be a little bit different, but I think they know the concept and what's expected. And so you're right. I think that'll help. I think you kind of see it with even the football team this year when they played Navy. They had a lot of returning guys that have been in that program, and they just came out just ready to go. And I hope that's the same thing for us.
Mitch, do you want to take the next question?
Yeah, Coach, I'm curious from your vantage point, what do you feel will be the biggest challenges in trying to have this season go according to schedule amid the pandemic?
The biggest challenge is not going to be us practicing or us doing things in the annex. It's going to be, what do my players do when they leave the annex? And how do they deal with the social part of college athletics, and how do they take care of themselves? And if you want a season, you got to be willing to sacrifice, and you got to be willing to really be careful and do the things that you need to. I think that'll be the biggest thing. We have to totally, continually bring that up to them and make them understand that, because you can't let one person slips, it ruins the whole team. With this new testing, it's going to be so much better because we can be tested on a regular basis and we can really watch it a lot better. Our medical staff is being tested. This is tough on them, and they want these girls to play, and they want all the athletics to really succeed. But we have to do things right, and I think that'll be the biggest challenge. Also, the mental part of it. I just can't imagine what some of these players are going through mentally. It's been hard on me, and I'm pretty strong mentally, I think, over my career, and I think it's been hard on me. I can just imagine them, and that's where we have to get help through our people here at BYU, and the coaching staff has to do a really good job of just keeping our players ready and confident and all those things. So that'll be the biggest thing for us.
And just one more question for me. I mean, can you maybe describe just the work that Shaylee put in to come back 100% from this ACL injury that she suffered last year?
You guys don't realize that girl could have played probably in January. She came back so fast. Her motivation of wanting to come back and do it, she could have played. If we would have, that had been her senior year, she would have come and played probably. But, she just does everything that she's supposed to. She's a dream player. You're very lucky to have a player like that as a coach in your career. And she's a hard worker. She's talented. She's motivated. She really wants to prove to a lot of people how good she is, and she wants to win. She wants to be the first player in BYU history to have our team go four times to the NCAA tournament, and that's something that she really wants to do. And last year she didn't play, so that didn't hurt her. So hopefully this year it'll happen. But she's a special young lady, and I'm glad she's back. And you really don't notice it. I've had two girls that have had ACL, and if you saw them playing, you would think they never had it. I think that just shows the great work BYU does through the rehab program and what we go through. We have really good trainers that know what they're doing and do a great job of that.
Sean, we'll take your question, and then Jake.
Coach, you mentioned how much kind of the non-basketball stuff will dictate how the season goes, just because of COVID and restrictions and protocols and all that. How much are your girls kind of watching sort of the rest of campus? What happened with the football team last week with the Army game? What's going on campus with several suspensions that they're announcing of students? Are they kind of hyper vigilant of those kind of things and kind of learning from that? Like, oh shoot, like we do need to be serious about
Yeah,
about some of these
yeah,
protocols like you talked about.
yeah. I really think with all this stuff going on, and they're hearing about it, and kind of saw with the football team had to go to cancel that game, that it could happen. It could happen to us very easily, and I think they just need to really understand that they need to be careful and not really risk anything. And I hate to say this, but the coaches have to be in the same thing. I mean, I had a chance. I was supposed to go to dinner with my grandson who got baptized and go to dinner at breakfast at Black Bear, and we went there and it was crowded as heck and nobody had masks on. And I said, hey, I'm out of here. I can't do this. I can't risk getting sick and then spread it to my team. But I do think that they really want to play, and I think it's really important to them. And because it's just been so crazy this off season, not being able to really do things. So yeah, I think seeing the NBA do as well as they've done, and the WNBA the way they've done it, and of course the NFL is going to be the biggest challenge if we see how they can make it, them in college football. So we just have to be careful. We just have to really watch ourselves. And I can only be on. I can't watch them 24/7. I wish I could, but I can't do that.
Jake?
Coach, I wanted to ask you if there's a newcomer or newcomers to your team this year that you think are going to be names that by the end of the season we'll know more about that we may not know right now.
Lauren Gustin. Lauren Gustin is an unbelievable rebounder and tough kid. She sat out last year. She transferred from Idaho, played high school ball with Shaylee. They won 2 state championships. So, I mean, she's a really good player. Tegan Graham, a girl that I kind of mentioned earlier from New Zealand, who transferred from Colgate. Just a really smart, great player, just a kid that fits in really well with all we're doing. Kayla Lee, I guess now, she married Kobe, a transfer from Michigan State. We were on her really hard. She ended up going to Michigan State, close to home. She's going to be a really good player. She can play the 4-5 position, very good scorer. And then last but not least, Talia White just got home from a mission. People don't remember, we went to Europe a few years ago and she was the second best player on the team next to Shaylee, and then she hurt her knee and had to sit out, and then she went on a mission. She's come back in unbelievable shape. I don't know how she did on her mission, and we expect big things from her. But as I've noticed just in the workouts lately, I mean, Maria has gotten so much better with her minutes that she got to play last year. Babalu is starting to figure out the offense and where she needs to move. Mallory has made a serious jump of wanting to play harder and be more of a threat. Smiler has had the freshman, up and down. I think she's becoming more consistent, and she's going to play strictly the 2, not any point this year. So this is the deepest team I've had in a long, long time, and I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to try to really run different combinations and different schemes with different players, and I think it can really help us.
Any other questions for Coach Judkins? Okay, perfect. Thank you,
Hey,
guys.
well, thanks for having me on for this. It was great.